Hello, how you guys doing tonight? John, sorry, I just now got in here. Yeah, I'm trying to get everything rolling here. I plan on getting, uh, if I can get it up here, put the stream in the access for you guys. All right there in the chat. Well, I'm waiting for the chat to load on my stream. So, how you guys been doing today? On the Book of Faces, huh? I call it the fake book, actually. I don't know why I call it the fake book, but it is to me. I have to know everybody I have on my Facebook, or majority of them, anyways. So so you know, talking to people I know. Hey, Shane, people that I know. All right, let's see here. I'm trying to get the everything set up here for anybody who wants to get come in. I'm setting. I'm pinning my connect. You should see the stream connection there. I should be able to pin it. If it doesn't go Fruit Loop like it just did. No. To the chat. If anybody would like to come in, they can. Today, wife and stepdaughter wanted to go do something different. And so we ran out to a place out here in Dothan called Landmark Park. And I was walking around and seeing how things were going out there. And it wasn't a whole lot, but they had their it's a country drugstore is what they call it. It's actually a museum. And I took pictures of stuff. Brought back a lot of memories from when I was a kid. Some of the stuff my grandparents had in their house, and some of the things I actually used. My first razor was one of the straight edge razor. Uh, well, they called it disposable, but it had one edge on each side of the blade, and you put it in there and set it up to where you could shave because it kept it at a specific angle. But that was when I first started shaving with and cutting myself with before disposables came along. And then I found out disposables really didn't work well, so now I just use clippers. Yeah, my beard hair is a little bit tough, so hopefully tomorrow I'll get into my splits and check them out. Um, See what the one is doing because I left them empty frames when I put it was actually the swarm I put in there, and they they had empty frames to work on. They were actually festooning on it right after I put them in. After they got in there, they started festooning on it. And the last time I looked at it, they had a pretty, I guess it was a 3x3 chunk of wax from the top bar. So I'd like to see what they've done in 10 days with it, because they were a swarm, and I've always heard swarms are wax builders from the get go. So I'm about to see, and hopefully I can share that with you guys tomorrow. So if anybody wants to come in, you're welcome to come in because I'm speaking to the chat, and I see Shane's here in the net. So uh, how have things been going where you guys are at as far as your bees? Um, where most of us are in the south are probably considered in our swarm season. I've caught two. Uh, Ferreting sub. You don't have anything. Well, ferreting is the same thing. They got there trying to find it. So you know that word to work. Eating. They're so you're feeding them pollen sub right now. So I think today is right now it says it's 77 degrees. But Shane, I'm up to 16 colonies, and I've been I got 2 swarms so far. I haven't really everything. All my equipment is actually tied up at the moment. My swarm trap. I plan on that's part of what I need to get into bees for. Is I got some pro nukes that I'm gonna move open up one of my swarm traps again. I've got frames coming in supposedly Monday. They come in Monday. I can wax them up and set out a couple swarm traps again because I have the other one has no frames in it, and so I'm actually uh, working at working towards that. I may not get a whole lot. Last year I didn't catch any swarms. Um, Everything I kept splitting my hives, so I guess none of mine. Hey Tim, none of mine decided to swarm last year because I kept them split down. So I ended up with 12 by the end of the last season, and between splitting and catching a swarm, I ended 2 swarms. One flew away. It gave me 16, so that's where I'm sitting at the moment. Uh, you want to come in, Tim? Well, it's already pinned. I'm glad to see you made it. My buddy, your pal, a friend of mine. But you got 47 some hives, didn't it? Dang. How long have you been doing this, Danette? Mike, hey Mike, how you doing today? Glad to see you showed up. Finally caught me again. Oh, 47 degrees. Okay. I'm about to say 47 highs, shoot. I'll be good if I can handle 20. And that's what I was looking for this year. And I'm 4 away. Um, Still looking for I've got people lined up for out yards, but the thing is that I don't have anything for sure as far as out yards go. So I need to get some of these girls relocated, and I'm looking for yards that are 2 to 3 miles from where I'm at, so that way I can sort of go in a circle around where I'm at and provide my own drones. I know there's others going to be involved because I got other yards within 2 to 3 miles of me right now. So, uh, you know, I might have a better chance. They might even have a better chance if I start having a lot more drones spread around. So, what's been going on with you, Mike? I saw you the other day, and you were showing your winter wonderland. Yeah, Shane, at 47, I don't think they're going to be doing too much flying at that temperature. Yeah, then again, depends how warm the hive got. They may fly out to do their business and go back. I can't believe you guys still stuck up there in the cold. But then again, I basically air my bees almost all year round. You know, whenever it gets above 60 degrees, I'm going to check on them, see how they're doing. My brood, what my brood is at, where the queen's still laying, and so I don't really get a true full break from the bees here. I might be able to let them go 2 weeks before looking at them, but you know, I'm into them about once a week looking, and that's because most of them are in my yard at my house. Okay, I'm gonna use that. On its fourth year, okay. So your hubby's in his fourth year of bees. It's actually your first, okay. So I bet you right now, Tim's stuffing his face, getting ready, trying to get over here on the chat. Oh, Lee, hey Lee, welcome to the show. It's live, it's really live. All right. So J and DS is your husband's name is John then, right? Dene? Like I thought I heard you see that you wrote that before. I talked to John, so I thought you said. I may be wrong. Jack. Okay, Jack. Okay. I knew it started with a J. So it's my bad, wrong name. Don't want to get nobody in no troubles. All right. Yeah, I know the name. I mean, that's why I put the preface on there. I may have misunderstood. It could have been something else I was reading. Someone put name John in. Sometimes those chats go by really pretty quick. Don't seem to go by real fast in mine, but you know, we'll see how things go when more people come along. I've been I've been growing slowly. I've actually been surprised. I've had a few videos I thought were just crap videos I shot real quick, especially the one when I was playing with the queen cells, um, and found out that one wasn't actually a queen cell. That someone closed up the cell behind her when she was cleaning it, and then the one with the queen, that was actually she wasn't fully cooked yet, so she you know, I ended up opening up a zombie, but wasn't noticing in the video till I looked back at it that 6 inches from my thumb above on the top rail of that frame was a retinue taking care of a brand new queen had just come out. So there was no need for me to do it, but it was an interesting thing for me to look at. I've been enjoying a few things this year, seeing what actually virgin queens look like. Because I mean, people, I know I've had virgin queens in the hive, but I could never pick them out. How they were that much, how much different did they look as a virgin compared to being mated? So I started seeing the differences, and it actually shocked me how close she actually the queen looks at coming out of that queen cell to looking like a almost like a worker. but bigger and longer. But not. I mean, it's not that noticeable till you see it. Then side by side, that they got the long, skinny tail compared to the fat, bulbous tail. Is what I saw was the biggest factor in the plate on their back. That little plate, even though it's furry, still all the hair hadn't rubbed off of it. The pool swarm. Now, sorry about the condition of that pool. I need to get out there and work on that thing. I've been so busy. Uh, yeah, and I noticed. I mean, people said that they were easy to miss, but having never actually laid eyes on one till this year, when I opened up a cell and I saw her scurry out after she was fed, I actually was able to see it. So the next time I saw one, when I was playing with the other queen cell, trying to see if I can get her out, she was moving, but she wasn't fully developed for coming out. Then seeing that other one, I was able to recognize it, that it was actually a queen that they were cleaning up and intending to. Yeah, they are a little. You say they had their fat bodies. To me, it seems like they're a little bit longer. They don't seem so fat till after they're mated. I've noticed when they mate, they really swell up. I got some big bottom girls in my hives, and I mean they got a big tail on their backside compared to when they first hatch. I've noticed that. But then I had a real young one that had just been mated, which was my holly. I was able to tell her when I was taking the bees out of the off the tree when they caught that swarm. I figured out it was her, but I went to go use a clip on her. When I used a clip on her, she'd come out of the clip. She was still too small. She had apparently just been mated, and within a few days later, she had tiger stripe on her back because she started to swell up. So I noticed the difference. Really noticed the difference then. Um, yeah, that's true, Shane. Noticing that difference. That's what catches the eye. Yeah, if she isn't running, that's another factor too. I've noticed young queens are really skittish and run as fast as they can, get out of the sunlight. Hey Tim, let's see here. What's going on? Why can't they won't want to let you in? That
There
your
we go.
network? Oh, I tried 3 times, and the third time was the charm.
There may be something on our end. I'm trying to look on. I got the Wi-Fi going on my phone so we can see comments and all that. It may just be lagging or something on our end.
It could be. So you still don't have any kind of real network service out there?
Lord, no. It takes my day to pump in sunshine up this way.
Well, I know you're not. I know you're out there. You ain't that far out there. You're off the main road, so sunshine don't take too long to get in there, do you?
Yeah. No, it's just I don't know. They run that fiber optic cable a few miles down the road, and they just stop for whatever reason. I mean, like I say, you know where we're at. We on that main thoroughfare, but they just they ain't running up this far yet for whatever reason.
Yeah, I called Wow one time. One, because they were like maybe 3 miles down the road from where I live at now. And I was trying to get fiber optics to the house, and they said, "Well, we're not servicing your area." I said, "Well, you got a node. I know you got a node about three or so miles down the road from me." Yeah, but it cost you $150,000 to get that run to your over that direction. I said, you do that? I said, not pay that? I said, I'll be selling services. And they said, I'll be selling services to people in my neighborhood. Oh, so you can't do that? I said, well, if I pay $150,000 for it, it's mine. Yeah,
Oh man, don't even think about sending a bill.
yeah, really. I pay for the wire, so you better give me services the rest of my life for nothing.
Hannah's mom and daddy, they've been through, Lord have mercy, all the satellite services you can use as far as cable TV and uh, the internet, so on and so forth. But man, I'll be honest, our Wi-Fi, what little bit we get every month on these, or the hotspot, what little bit we get every month on our phones, it works 10 times better than whenever they had all that satellite stuff hooked up.
There was a service well, I say a long time ago. It was like in the late uh, 1990s to 2000. They had it was a 4G home service. It wasn't even a phone, but what it was, it captured a 4G signal, and then became you hooked up a router to it, and that thing had the best service I'd ever had, and it was good. It was cheap. It was like $22 a month for it, and it was unlimited. I had a laptop that had what they call a WLAN card, which picked up cell signals and was able to get you know anywhere there was a cell tower. I was able to use a laptop at you know and pick up the cell service and with that program in there, and it ran. I used that thing all across the country. Wherever there was AT&T at, I was able to use it.
We've looked into a couple, I don't know, just getting a little hotspot, but from folks we've talked to around here, so right now it still ain't even worth, trying to find a hotspot. So we'll
My
take what
Lord,
we
my
can
stuff
get.
going.
So that was probably us sharing it out.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I should have quiet. I should have muted the phones.
But
I got two of
you talk,
them, two work phones.
you talking
What was
about
that,
trying
Tim?
to. I say you was trying to talk about identifying them virgin queens. Good luck with some of them little girls.
Yeah, I've seen the one of the ones I had. I mean, I couldn't. The only way to tell her between a worker, I saw her come out of the cell, so I knew she was a queen coming head first, not butt first, like that one video. I'd opened it up and she ran out after a worker came and fed her. She came out of the cell, and the only way I could tell the difference between her and the workers was that her tail was pointed, not blunted like the regular workers,
Mm-hmm.
and that was the only difference I could actually see in in her until she got mated. When she got mated, she her abdomen tanned out, turned
Like
tan.
with us, it's two total different ways. I look at her behind, if you will, and look for that, sharp point on her tail end. Well, Hannah's gotten down so good to where she looks for the difference on the wings, and
Huh.
she can pick them out just as quick. Looking at her wings, you can't pick them out quick enough.
Well, when I first started noticing regular queens, before I look at their butt, I look at their back, right where the wings came in. Is that plate, a little round plate, gets on their back. Usually on a mated queen, it'll be sort of shiny, and and something about that plate looks different than either the worker or the drones. So, I mean, that's how I used to tell the queen real quick before I was able to see her butt in a crowd.
Whenever year before last, we had such an overwhelming season, and we were tinkering around with the 4-man's incubator. We were having anything we could. If it was a queen cell, it didn't matter how big or small it was. We was putting them in there and just seeing how they would do. But some of them queens, when they'd hatch, you could go, "Oh yeah, that's a good queen right there." Even she'd even have that abdomen stretched out as if she'd been mated. But then you get into some of the smaller ones, a smaller queen cell, and that was the little girls that if she was mixed up in a crowd, yeah, you had a time finding her because she just had that smaller, slender body versus what you could see obviously on what we recognize as a good, healthy queen. But it just takes time with folks, especially if you in your first couple years. Don't get us wrong. I mean, I overlook them. Hannah points that out to me often. So,
well, I had Brad point one out in a video that I had that I didn't even realize. That was a few inches from my hand. I didn't realize it, and I was looking for the queen in the video. I thought it was funny. He says, minute mark 2 minutes and 23 seconds or something like that. The queen's right next to your hand. Like I looked back at the video and I'm like, holy crap, there she is. She is there. And I looked right over her.
I can't tell you how many times we've done that, putting a video together. And you go, but you're watching your video, make sure it however you want it, this and that. And we're looking for the queen as we're going through, and we couldn't find her. Then lo and behold, as we're putting the video together, we go, well, there she was.
Well, there she is. Why did we see her?
Yeah.
Well, that's like when I cut the second one. I cut open and I was looking at. She turned. I said that wasn't fully baked. His hand started laughing when I said that. Yes, the queen wasn't fully baked yet, and I looked back at the video right above it. Like I said, like 3 to 4 inches above my hand on the top rail. They're tending to a brand new one that just hatched because I had like 3 or 4 cells in there, and she come rolling up the top of the rail, and I was like, okay, I see you. I did catch her in the video later, but she was there most of the time in the video, right there at the top of the rail. Yeah, Shane says it's always good if I can get a second set of eyes.
Oh, it definitely helps. It's it.
Stone River. Stone River, I'm laughing. Who's got time to chat now? It's bee season.
Yeah, thankfully, they're looking like for us, it's going to be a much, much better year. Nothing like last year so far.
Yeah, I'm just hoping I get those that guy you told me about. I ordered the strains from him. He forgot about sending them out, so I called him the other day. They'll be here Monday. I'm hoping I get something, get my swarm box back in condition, and get it back out for trying to see if I can catch some more swarms, and have frames to split with. Because the thing is that I don't want these girls getting too far out of hand before the flow starts.
Hey, it's turn on.
Yeah, well, they wouldn't be swarming right now if they weren't getting nectar from somewhere. They knew that the hive could take care of itself. So that's a point to look at too. That we're not totally without flow. It's just not a major flow yet. They still can take care of themselves.
We've been seeing small signs of the privet the last week and a half, 2 weeks. Starting to see them little bulbs pop up on that plan, if you will. Then Hannah and I went up. We done a working on a trap out. Don't know how well it's going to go, but if not, we'll mosey into cutting them things out. But anyway, went up looking at them, and as we was coming down the ladder, I'd seen a privet coming up beside this old oak, but I didn't pay too much attention. And then as we was cleaning up, sure enough, them flowers is opening up just as pretty as they please. So the privet flow should really start ramping up for us. I don't know, from here on, probably about 2 more weeks.
I haven't noticed any opening up off the side of the roads while I've been driving. I have I think a Japanese privet in the backyard. It's got buds on it, but I haven't seen any of them open up yet. They've been going for that holly though. They had that holly tree full. I mean, they're all over it. All three trees, they were covered. My bees. So they're not going too far. They're just going next door. But they're getting a good bit of nectar off of those. So
it's crazy how they put that holly up, especially if it's anything like up at her grandma's. It sounded like a mini swarm up in that tree.
Yeah, it doesn't. They weren't. Even with all the bees I have, it didn't sound like they were a swarm like they did like 2 years ago. Before I had bees, there was a bunch of them in there, and it actually sounded like a swarm going on. So I'm wondering how these girls are going to actually going to have to do. I got one box a little bit agitated right now. I don't know what the deal is. I got to check that tomorrow too. See if what's going on with them, because I walked by the boxes to knock the tall weeds down in front of it, and I got stung twice just walking by the box. I'm like, what is your guys' problem? I'm not even bothering with you. So,
They didn't want to be fool with yet. It's man, gonna get out of here. We've had enough already.
Philip Morris, he must have been in his bees today. He said he's taking a break from getting stung. That's funny though. Shane says it's just us doing dang Canadians, LOL. Like, no Canadian bacon up there. It's just bacon.
Yeah, hopefully they'll go to warming up here before too long, and everybody else can get into their bees. I know a lot of folks, even in the northern parts of the states, looking at the news and what have you, they still covered in quite a bit of snow in a lot of places.
But Danae was saying they're like 43 degrees still right now where they're at, and that's still a little chilly for the bees to be doing anything.
Yeah, that was our low this morning. We got up about 76, something like that today. Pretty day, don't get me wrong. But
it says it's 77 right now here. So I mean, it'd been beautiful to get into them today. Would have been beautiful, but I got pulled off on the sidetrack. It was worth it though. Little place called a little park here in town, Landmark Park. Actually, the Wiregrass beekeepers have some hives out there on the back 40 of that property, and they're selling I think like $1 a piece or something like that for their honey sticks. They're selling honey sticks. I figured that they at least had bottled honey up there in that little shop, to sell. So, I mean, I don't know. I mean, it was interesting. It reminded me of the old days back in the early 1900s.
She was just
Go
saying
ahead.
she watched the video. I was taking me an old man nap. I woke up probably about 10 minutes before you went to live. I went live and started rummaging through, and I seen where you put that out, but I hadn't watched it yet. But she, I guess, already had watched and commented on it.
Yeah, what was interesting is when I was doing that video in the first part, I was trying not to get them kids' faces in there, and because was talking to the parents when I went by, so I'm trying to get keep their faces out of the video if I can. And they were talking about starting to raise, they want to start raising bees too. So he subbed my channel right there. I was telling him what my channel was, and he subbed to me right away. So hopefully, if he needs any information or bees or anything, he'll give me a call, because all you got to do is Google my 263 bees, and my name and address come up. Set it out there on YouTube, not YouTube, but Google as a business. And I think Bob was the one that got me to do that. He ended up getting me doing that. I figured I'd start trying to drum up some business somehow for raw honey. And Hannah's hiding there somewhere, isn't she?
Yeah, she's tinkering with her crochet. She's been putting that blanket together, or throw, or whatever we calling it. She's calling it. But trying out a couple different. Go ahead.
I should have took some video of that today too. They had these ladies doing quilting in one of the buildings. They were actually, using sewing machines and stuff, but they were quilting. My wife was sort of interested in that.
Yeah. When she gets back in here, if I reach across right now, I'll knock everything down that I got going on. But she made me pretty awesome. But for my Bible, let's see if I can get that up here.
Oh, a little cross.
A bookmark for the cross, or with a cross. She made it out of camo. I got a camo cover for my Bible, but that's what she do.
Huh.
It's pretty neat. She's sitting making preacher's wife and several other ladies in church little bookmarks and stuff. And somewhere she'd rummaged up some camo stuff, and so I got me a good little bookmark for it's a good book too.
Yeah. I do motorcycle ministry on Saturdays usually. Today is one of my off days because all the clubhouses are shut down this week for Saturday. They're changing things up with their meetings and stuff like that, so it's shut down. But one of the guys, another Christian ministry guy, he carries around. He calls them pocket crosses. It's they take the crochet, not crochet, but the cross point plastic, and then they cut it in a little, make a little pocket out of it, and sew a cross on the front of it, and put Bible verses in it and hand those out. It's actually pretty cool. So I mean, I'm just thinking if my wife gets into doing quilts and does some wax candles and quilts with the honey, it'd probably be a good little sales gimmick,
But if you can get in that market, I mean, quilts, like Hannah's mama before, Laura called her a home. But you talk a woman that can make some quilts. I mean, Hannah's got, I wish I could, like I said, if I showed y'all right now, I'd tear half the house to pieces with all the stuff in the lap. But, man, just made some fine quilts for everybody between all her kids, their friends and family. And that woman, she was an artist whenever it came to the making them quilts. But apparently, you can
What I
make
don't
it.
what I don't understand is that some of them people, some will use a pattern and go by a pattern to lay it out and do it, but the ones that don't use a pattern and get it so look so precise, I mean, that takes a lot of time, effort, and and actually has to be desire because it would drive me nuts to get everything just so precise. To make it like the ones that like little stars and stuff like that with different colors. And
Mm.
I mean, for me, it would drive me nuts to get that to be that precise because all my work is not precise. But uh, pulling wire, making networks and stuff like that is the closest I get is a bubble on a level. Hang a rack, to making something square. Making sure how high it is off the floor and things like that. But it's still not precision. It's bigger item.
That was her mama. I can't tell you how many times throughout the years we walked into, she called it her sewing room, and she'd have all them patterns laid out and, have her one or two, I guess, sets or examples of what she wanted to start with. And she'd ask the girls, which one do you like best, this and that. But if she could just cut something out, put it down, run it through that machine, and bam, have something ready to go in no time. But most definitely, she was an artist in that field.
Yeah, I've been working on the same blanket for years. It's about 2 inches long. I don't know if she's talking about crocheting, probably. Crocheting takes a lot of time too. Yeah, especially when you do the long needle stuff. You knit one, purl two. I don't even know what those are, but I remember hearing Grandma talk about them. Yeah,
I couldn't tell you anything about it either, brother, except for, you can make some pretty stuff doing it. I can't wait till Hannah gets what she's doing completely put together. It's going to be a pretty neat reveal what she's got, but uh, she's looking to try to make something for probably not this one. I think she's going to do another one after this one to maybe doing a giveaway or something, but just kind of a highlight. She's gotten several different colors and she's trying to match up different pollen, if you will, but she's making them into like the hexagon and to fit it all together into one big blanket. But maybe in the next few months you'll have one ready for gun line to give away for any of you women folk or anybody that wants to try to win that thing
well,
or something.
it's like some of the stuff I've made. I do with paracord, like crocheting the bracelet with paracords, or making keychains with paracord. I do stuff like that. That's probably as precision as I would actually get. Having an idea how long to pull the string to make it so long, what knots to tie. I mean, it's not really hard. My mom did that when I was a kid. That's where I sort of picked that one up. She'd crochet plant holders, and so she'd have hanging plants. She'd hang them up, and they'd be in a crochet that wrapped around the pot.
Oh Lord, I ain't seen one of them things in forever. My aunts and
Yeah,
all them have to.
I was talking about that's I'm talking about back in the '70s and early '80s. My mom used to do that stuff. Bringing. I don't know how old some of these people in here, if they remember Trichim. Um, that was something I did too. It was basically coloring with paint. You do a stencil on a shirt, and then you paint in the stencil. It's by color by number type of setup, Or I take an old shirt like the one I got on right now, and then I repaint the old logo or whatever was on there that was fading off or falling apart. Used to do stuff like that a long time ago. Tom remembers macrame, not macrame, but Trichem. They actually still sell that stuff, Trichem, but it's not as big as it used to be. They used to try to sell it like what was that? Tupperware. They'd have little people come to your house to give a party, and they'd sell it like that. Something they used to do. But, they still have it on the market, but I don't see much of it. Danae says she macrame. Yep.
Now, you don't want me drawing nothing. I'm barely gonna stick man. I ain't no kind of artist. Now I can pretty well build you whatever you want. Give me some lumber and tape measure, and we can do something. But not at all an artist.
Yeah, I used to paint on people's skin too. I used to was a tattoo artist for a while, and so I mean, art's in my family. My mom, I used to get upset when I went through my mom's closet. She used to be a real good artist when she was younger. Before I don't know when she did the artwork, but it was in the closet when I was about 13, 14 years old. I found a box in the closet, pulled it out, and it had all kinds of pictures of horses and yardscapes, farms type stuff, drawn out. And I got mad at her. I said, why don't you use this somehow, make money with it, your ability. No. It's just something I do. I'm like, something you do. And when I realized I had some talent for drawing and stuff like that, I started making money with it. I don't do it that much now, but I'm just saying, because it takes a lot to get into some of the stuff to make the money. It seems like every hobby costs to get into, especially beekeeping.
That's what I say. This beekeeping it'll hurt your billfold real fast, especially if you about like us, or you go from paycheck to paycheck, or you only got so much left every month to tinker around with. It don't take long to dig into that billfold.
Yeah, I'm only talking about 80 frames, 40 deep, 40 medium frames and foundations, $260
Mm.
ship.
And that was
So
from the fella down there in Florida.
actually, he's not in Florida. He's actually out of Virginia. But he's tied to the guys that are down near you in Mississippi. Guys asking him, I thought you were in Florida. He said, no, I'm in Virginia, where I'm at. So he's probably got a big old warehouse down there in Florida somewhere too, but he didn't mention anything about them.
I don't know. That's something we're gonna have to do is take a ride over there to Mississippi and get some deep boxes and some frames ourselves. If we keep on where we can do some more splits, we about got them horizontal hives packed out. I say packed out, but it ain't gonna be long. We're gonna be digging into our boxes and getting all the input in. But then we're gonna have to go buy some more, like I say.
I can make boxes. The boxes ain't a problem. They're actually fairly easy to make, and even a simple setup where I'm not doing any routing or anything like that, but I put the lip inside. Take a half inch piece of plywood and cut a strip on either side to make the for the ears to sit on. I've got the size down pat on how to make them. And I've been making those. I make bottom boards. I make migratory covers with a lot of scrap wood. So the only thing I really have a problem with is keeping frames and getting enough wax built up. That's the only thing I seem to have a problem with at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I've got like 4 deeps right now, and I've got 6
Mhm.
supers ready to roll. I just needed frames.
That's what kind of, I guess, throws us off a little bit, is because we got the horizontals out there, and by the time you put 10 frames in each section, well, that's 60 frames that you done burn up in a heartbeat. Then whenever you start going to grab boxes, you're like, where's all my frames? Then it hits us, well, y'all done stuck them out there in the horizontal, but that was our main goal. Anyhow, I guess if we have a said goal was to get the horizontals back, we'll say running again and get them packed out, then we'll start working on getting them Langstroth boxes filled back up and uh, see what kind of honey flow we get. And I think, like I say, I think we're going to do much, much better this year for sure on everything all around, because we got swarms coming in. We had a little one. Well, don't know if it.
Hello, Jasper.
Yeah, come on in, Jasper.
Oh, the cat want to come in too.
Yep. Y'all get it. But that's just where we at right now. Swarm season is looking much better. Not really seeing them draw out yet. I mean, they're doing enough to get them by, but it's not that hardcore, burr combs everywhere. They're building on the sides and filling frames out in a day and a half. But we're not seeing that yet, but we are starting to see them draw some.
Yeah, the swarm box. I checked it last week, and they were about 3/4 of a way with having a full frame of foundationless comb pulled already. So I'm expecting when I go in there, they should just about be done tomorrow. When I go in to look at them, I'm expecting to see the whole frame built out. I like I like the natural comb, but the problem is you just can't spin that stuff out. It blows out so quick without having foundation. Uh, Either that, or you just have to waste the whole frame of comb and crush and strain it, and that's just too much work, you know.
We try to set about 10 frames between each colony. If we get back up to our 18 or 20 colonies again, like say we'll do a couple in this one and a couple in that colony, because a lot of people, especially the church folks, whenever they request their honey for the season, hey, can y'all got some you can put some comb in? They love that comb in honey, so we try to get at least get enough to where we can do 6 or 8 quarts to put that comb in.
Yeah. Last year I did some comb, or well, like people call it chunk honey here, um, where it has the chunks of wax in it, and I did a few of those this last year, and they sold pretty good. But what I want to try to do this year, maybe I'll get away with doing the supers foundations and make them draw those out and make comb honey out of that. Because I saw on I think it was Amazon, they had a 2x4 cutter, comb cutter, and the boxes for to go into, and I think it was like 18-20 bucks for 100. I think it's no, it may have been 50 containers, and then had the comb cutter with it. And then I was looking at some other food serving dishes, a 4x4 for the hog halves. Put them in there on that, which were clear top, but they were 4x4 by 2 inches or 2.5 inches tall. So that way you can put your comb in there and it'd be a good display because you can see through the top at it and see the whole comb. So I mean, I've been looking into that, hoping that maybe I can extend some of um, my purchasers to a different product. They liked everything I put out this year, so hopefully this next year.
Whenever we went over in Mississippi, and that fella was showing us that frame, didn't that frame hold about 6 of those clear little cases?
6 on each.
Yeah, that Asian fella we over there in Mississippi, man, it blew our mind. At he didn't give us a total number of what he makes each year. I'll do that, but I think it was like you say, a 4x4 roughly. Anyway, it was a frame where you could stick 6 on one side and 6 on the other side of the clear plastic deals. All right, the bees would build and draw off that, and he said that was like his number one seller for his honey, but it was just a chunk of comb with chunk of honeycomb. But he said, "Oh, I sell X amount of these each year," and we just kind of did a rough estimate on the way home of what that fella made off that. And buddy, you talk about that man made a killing.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, I think Spanky was talking about that. We've talked about it in several different streams with Bob and it's with Spanky and Ricky. I forgot what they call that stuff, but I know what you're talking about. You put it in the frame and then it folds back over on itself after when you go to seal it up, get the bees off of it. You have to paint the surface of the plastic for them to draw on. So that's a drawback, but it's not that big a deal. You have to have honey wax to do it. So
What was he? Man, I'm gonna say it was about $10 or $12 a piece. He sold them things.
It was like, I think it was $10 a piece. He sold it, and it was a 2x4.
Yeah, it wasn't.
It wasn't real big at all.
But it was see through, and he had his sticker on there, and I mean, he had it labeled up and packaged and everything. It looked good. Don't get me wrong, but I'm thinking to myself, ain't no way we could be able to. I mean, we probably could if we tried hard enough, but that fella, he is well established over there in his community and in the surrounding area there, so it ain't too big of a problem.
It's called. There it is. That's it. That's it right there. JNDSBs. It's called Simply Comb.
Okay. Sorry, I didn't see anything.
So I knew somebody would pop up when we started talking about what it was. But I've thought about it too. I even thought about those Ross rounds, but I've heard too many people saying to get them to actually pull those is sort of an issue with some of them. You got to really have a. Yeah, I think yeah, Ross rounds. I think Sarah has mentioned that she tried Ross rounds. She actually she gave one of them away on one of the drawings she had was one of her Ross rounds that she gave away. And I think she was saying that it took her a while to get some of them to pull on it. You had to have a full box of bees for them to even work them, from what I'm understanding.
I think that's what Blaine was saying. The other Texican out there, Blaine was trying them, and the boxes that did actually draw them out. He said, y'all, they just kind of had to be some jam up boxes.
Yeah, like on the verge of swarming, but not. Yeah,
Yeah, that's what
that's
the Hives for Heroes guy said too. That was on Ricky's chat. He's like, they got to be right at swarming, but you can't let them swarm.
yeah. Yeah, there's got to be some way to do some of this stuff, but without putting yourself that close to losing half your bees,
Mm-hmm.
you know, one mistake and you got a swarm. I mean, you'll have another hive if you catch it, but
Yeah,
production.
yeah.
If you that is a if. I've had 2 swarms in my yard. I caught both of them, but one stayed. Yeah, so I had a 50% ratio as far as what keeping a swarm once it was caught,
Mm.
and that's probably because there's too many bees in that hive, that nucleus hive. I probably should have dumped them off into a deep instead of the nucleus, but that's what was available.
Well, it's just part of that. You got to find that area of, okay, how much do I split them down? Or if I wait another week or two, are they going to swarm on me? Or if I do a split, then is it going to break them down too much to
That they're not going to
have
have
more
production.
swarming? Yeah. And most of
Well,
our swarms, I see Chris's comment on our side over here. Believe it or not, when we can, as we talked last year was terrible, but the other 3 years, it just, they were wonderful for a season. And we could get ahead, do our splits, everything rock and roll good. And I don't think we may have had 1 or 2 here in the yard, but all the swarms that we had were coming from outside our yard. We knew for a fact there's no queen cells in any of our boxes. Nobody has swarmed. They're still producing good, but there's countless times that we, especially before Hannah got allergic, that we'd be sitting down there by them, and all of a sudden you hear that roar coming in,
Mm-hmm.
and a few of them may just be something to fill in a nuke pretty good, and we had several coming in that, yeah, fill up 10 frames kind of thing. So hoping we'll kind of get back into that groove a little bit too.
yeah. I was sort of upset about that one that flew off because that was the biggest swarm I'd ever caught. Everything else has been like a Nerf football size or maybe a little bigger.
So,
And what were you getting ready to say, Hannah?
oh, I was yakking at the dog trying to tell her
Oh.
stuff.
She sees a squirrel out there.
Mm-hmm.
I can't say that word too loud in here. My dog will be looking at the windows, try to go through them.
Uh-huh.
That's how she is. She has a fit when she sees one of them things running around. But then we let her out, and buddy, she'll come down them steps and hit that last little landing, jump off.
And run right past
Yeah,
them.
go right past them, or the opposite direction of where she was looking. We're like, we thought you had it on point.
She just likes to hear herself called.
My dog, she's funny. You mean you see a deer jumping through the brush in a field?
Mm-hmm.
My dog, when she thinks she sees one of those things, she'll do the same thing. She'll jump through the yard like that, looking for it.
Uh-huh.
And I think that's part of the bird dog that's in her. She's got some blue tick in her, as well as Australian foxhound. She digs in the yard when she hears the like my septic tank. you hear the water running and she'll dig on the top of my septic tank. She got a little hole dug because she thinks she hears something in the ground.
Oh, darling, you don't want to dig down in there.
Yeah, she's something else. She's a good dog, but she thinks she's something else. Houdini, like you wouldn't believe. A 70-pound Houdini. She'll break
Uh-huh.
out the backyard. She don't jump the fence. She could, but she doesn't. She won't jump over a baby fence. You put a baby fence in the house, she won't go past it. She won't push it. She won't go over it, under it, nothing.
That's
But you put
pretty
her in that
good.
backyard, she pops out in the front yard somehow. I come home from work, she's sitting in the front yard. What you doing, guys?
Sound like an old dog I had. That was the best dog we ever had, but he'd do the same thing. Wouldn't find anywhere he'd dig out, nothing like that. But then finally got to start watching him. And in the corner of that chain link, he figured out he could climb using the corner of the chain link, and up and over he'd go. Well, we finally got to the point, got tired of his tail doing that, so we put a hot wire up. And at first, it let him know what was happening. But then he figured out whenever we'd unplug that thing for a little bit, he'd go and listen for that hum in that electric wire. And once he didn't hear that hum,
It was on.
up and over.
Yeah, we were talking about Simple Comb, that Simple Comb and those little cassettes for comb honey.
I just saw that
Davis,
put in.
yeah, $80 for 20 cassettes is what he says they
Yeah,
cost. But
a
you were
lot of money.
saying, well, the price that you're talking about for those cassettes would like he's actually getting more money for them. You know, you said
Well, I know
$10 for one, $10 for that thing, and then if it's
Yeah,
got
he probably
six,
went up on things.
Yeah, that was like 2 years ago. He told us that price that he sold them for. So I'd imagine he's probably gone up on now.
It'd be interesting if you got the colonies to do it, and if you got the workforce to do it, then that's just absolutely another way to bring in some pocket change, especially if you got the patience to just set so many colonies to the side and just have them completely do that workforce for you. But I mean, it's a neat
well,
concept. I like it, but we just don't have it right now.
I'm gonna see what happens this year with the flavored honey and infusion of honey. We'll do this year compared to last year. Uh, and also, I have a refractometer, a proper refractometer now, so I can tell the moisture content, which may decrease some of the crystallized honey I had this year by pulling at a proper moisture content. Last year I had a refractometer, but it was only told me bricks, so I was having to calculate, and I probably might have been calculating wrong. So
Yeah.
I think that's why I ended up with more crystallized honey last year. And most of it was capped. It wasn't uncapped. I have a feeling the moisture content was up. So, and that's what people. I mean, that's what some people are saying that causes the crystallization. But I think it has more to do with what the bees are bringing in more than anything else.
Well,
The nectar that they're pulling.
if I wouldn't butcher what Earl was saying, how he broke down the science of the sugars in the nectar, what was it, the fructose and all that he broke down. But I guess a lot of the some things may have a higher sugar content in the nectar, and some things not so much of a higher content. Because ain't it like a lot of the guys up in the North Country that in them canola fields, to where that stuff crystallizes real quick on them.
Yeah, that's what they say. It sets up quick. Yeah, I think he talks about fructose and the sucrose content.
Yeah.
I remember hearing him say something about that, but I don't know which one needs to be. It has to be less or more to cause it to crystallize. So I mean, it's just gonna be a game I'm gonna have to play to figure out what honeys I have to use for what. I mean, it's my second year actually going to be collecting honey. And I'm thinking about this week pulling off the honey that they have left over from the winter, and because their other nectar's starting to come in now, get some fresh stuff, get the old stuff out, get some fresh stuff in. I have noticed some crystallization in some of the cells too, on the comb when I was looking at some of them, and I think that was cotton honey. You know, that crystallized like that.
I'm not sure. Now she was asking like, go ahead.
No,
Well, Philip was saying he thought it was dextrose and fructose.
There we go. I think he's on the right track. Maybe Earl will pop in and at least correct us in the chats or something.
And here we got Grayson. Hey, Grayson. So I mean, yeah, I wouldn't mind Earl pop in and show his face again. For that matter, DC, he has a camera. He should come on. He should bring
I
it.
think that overwhelmed DC a lot coming on that live.
Yeah, well, you know, he's got a good character, and I think he would do good with it. I just don't think he likes his face being seen.
I can understand that.
Yeah, because usually when he's doing his videos, you see him. He's got the veil on. You know, you can't really see his face that much. And I think that's what he hides from.
We can't say too much.
Well, I keep joking the fact that someone was saying something the other night, and I commented, DC still uses a flip phone. What do you think? You know, he don't want to. He's asking about those Apple pods or air tags that they were putting in the Queen Right box, Queen Right labels. So later, David. So I mean, I think it's funny that granted, yeah, I know that Big Brother is watching everything we do.
Mm-hmm.
You ain't gonna get away from it. They want to find you. They're gonna want to see you. They'll find you and they'll see you. You know, so more video evidence I have of not doing anything wrong means it's better for me.
Yep, y'all can't blame me that day. I was live with Ed.
Yeah. Hey, Bob. Yeah, so I understand people's hesitation on that, but Scripture says it's going to get worse before it gets better. You know, before the end comes, it isn't going to get better. It may look like it's going to get better for a few years and then turn really sour. But You just got to depend on God watching your back, man.
Yeah, that's it. Like you got the Lord looking after you. You are all right.
You know, depend on Him. Has anybody got that? Anybody got that? That little tarot girl, whoever she is.
Yeah, I see it on our end over here.
I don't know. I don't know if I can get rid of that or not. I don't like that. It's not letting me.
Well, we're on our channel.
No,
Does it show up on?
it's not showing in the edge chat. It's just
No, it's on your side, I think, because it's guest. It's on the guest chat side.
okay. There it
Bingo.
goes.
Deleted.
All right. I mean, I'm not scared of it. I just don't want it in people's faces.
Yes. Well, you go jabbing too much on all that stuff, then you know how
So
it goes.
Bob put a bid on some property today. So I guess he's gonna make the great B move. Yeah, he's gonna make that great B move.
Just move out of his mama's place, or looking for another
I don't
yard?
know. I don't know. I don't know. It could be both. I don't have a clue. He said he put a bid in. Maybe come in and explain that a little bit for us, so that we're not left out here to just guess, Bob, and say the wrong thing. Why don't you come on in?
Hit the button.
Gotcha.
Oh, he's saying it's just an auction, so probably won't get it. Well, maybe you will. If it's something you're interested in.
That girl popped up again, Tarot Destroyer.
Let's see if I can just.
Jasper knew I was coming. See, you hear him?
Yeah, he was crying. He heard Bob's name, but then to hear Bob's voice.
I put in a bid on a piece of property. We'll see what happens. It's only 2 acres, but it's got a double wide with a shop and a 100 by 36 barn, or 36 by 100 barn on it. So
pretty good sized building there.
Yeah, the only thing is I've never done an auction before in my life, and it's still 2 weeks before it ends, right? And I'm pretty much at the upper limit of what I could bid anyway and offer on it. So what I imagine will happen is someone, a realtor or something like that, will jump in at the last minute, scoop it up, and then sell it or something, you know. So
those people's emotions get vicious.
Yeah, they do.
So we'll see. It's online, but it's not here. It's not in South Carolina. So we're gonna wait and see what happens before I make any announcement. Or when I lose the auction, I'll let everybody know.
Well, we were surmising whether it be somewhere where you were going to move from your mom's house or it's just an out yard.
No, it would be a move. It'd be a pretty substantial move too. So it's not like right near me. So, not that I have anything against South Carolina at all, but the fact of the matter is this house is kind of in limbo, right? And at some point you got to look out for your future before, before something happens. I hate that have stuff forced upon me, but if I can make whatever moves I'm going to make and adjust to the situation, then it's a decent thing, right? So I can deal with that.
It's always good to have somewhat of a path in front of you that you can at least figure out a way through.
Yeah, it's I don't know, it's a nice little piece there, and for the price that it was at, actually I'm the leading bidder right now, so we'll see how long that lasts. The last bid, I've been looking at the property for a week, and the last bid had been up there for a week, and then I posted it, and they haven't outbid me yet. So we'll see what happens. Well, Tim, you've been to some auctions and stuff. How does that usually work with property?
We did an estate sale auction, and
Hannah's not a fan.
Hannah's not a fan.
No, I had to battle some dude and end up paying 3 times what I bought, what it was worth, just because he made me mad.
Hit the wrong thing, guys. Sorry.
Yeah, they're kind of spamming the chat, whoever that is.
Yeah, I've been hitting, knock them out for 24 hours, and they get back in here somehow or another.
Yeah, it's a spammer.
It's coming from your side, though. So
I'll just keep erasing them. What have you? Probably some little 30-year-old grown man sitting in his mama's basement. But the auction we went to was the only reason we had went because this gentleman.
He was a huge beekeeper.
Yeah. And he was selling off equipment and knickknacks, and
Everything.
some of y'all may remember the big poster that we got that's hanging on the wall in here. That hung up in his restaurant for 25 years. But what did you name that? The Beehive or something like that?
This is the place, Ed, if you want to pop it up. It's nothing it's nothing fancy, so don't get your hopes up. But it's
there it goes.
It's a double wide, and on this end, it's like they built out a workshop area on the left side. And this back here is the barn, right? And there's some other buildings back there.
Looks like it's pretty cool.
Needs some work. But I like the fact that it's wide open, right? Bees could fly wherever they want to go. And there's not.
I noticed something else. I noticed something else about that too, Bob. It ain't dirt. It ain't all dirt.
It's not dirt. I won't have to be mowing my dirt. Was that a cat right there on the porch? 2 cats.
Those are your micers.
Ow, my Meister's coming in here every time I get on a live.
That's a good looking view, man.
So it's a 2006 mobile home, and then they built this little add-on to the side. And there are pictures of. Obviously, it needs work, guys. That's why it's on auction. But I don't know if they had pigs or goats or what they had in there. This building actually has a concrete floor in it. So, and of course, there's mobile home. I wonder if it's got a dishwasher, Tim.
I don't know. You better check in on one of them bows, though.
I see a microwave in there though.
Yeah, but there isn't there another one right there on the counter under it?
Yeah, you can use one. You can use one to make the lightning strike on the boxes.
Oh, there's a dishwasher right there in the island.
I highly recommend you check that.
That's a nice open area there on that.
Mm-hmm.
Well, if I can buy this and pay it off and have no mortgage or land payment, makes things a little bit easier in the retirement ages, right?
Oh, yeah.
Hopefully.
Yeah, from the look of that, it's up towards the mountains somewhere because it's got a lot of hill in the area.
Oh yeah, someone in the chat already mentioned where it is. This is the little workshop area here.
Yeah, from Virginia somewhere.
Little west of there.
Oh, Janae guessed it.
So yeah, I mean, it definitely's got. I'm trying to get to the pictures with the barn. Would you be quiet over there? So
No.
definitely has full on barn. I mean, that's supposed to be 36 wide by 100 feet long, the building. So nice little property. We'll see what happens.
So Bob's gonna be raising goats before you know it.
Oh no. I see a bee yard up on the ledge on the hill there. I see a bee yard in that fence area right there. Who knows? Maybe that barn turns into a bee store. You never know. So
Chip that on our end, but how many acres is it, Bob?
That- 2. It's just 2 acres.
Looks like a lot more than 2 though.
I think, and see, this property that I'm on is only like 0.58 acres, but because of all the woods that surround it, it looks much larger than it is. So it's really 4 times what the size of this place as far as land. So we'll see what happens. I'm trying not to get my hopes up on it because it seems like every time you get your hopes up on something, then something smacks you around a bit, you know.
Mhm.
So we put it in. If it happens, it happens. If it don't, well, we're no worse off than we were. So just trying to make a few little moves.
Well, like she
And
said,
then
them folks in them can be brutal, even over a cup. You know, I get y'all were going over land. That's a big investment for folks, kind of thing. So
If I
you're
get it
willing
for
to
what
work out for them.
if I get it for what I bid on it, y'all will be really surprised. I mean, they had it listed through the realtors and all for 150,000, and
Oh wow.
and it's nowhere near that on the auction. So, but like I said, a lot of those people are waiting to see what it is and come in at the last minute and outbid you by $1,000 or something like that, you know. So we'll see.
Yep.
See what happens. It'll be and then I'll have to learn the whole state of West by God, Virginia's beekeeping laws. So, but you know, there's some people that are really near that property that are on YouTube. Boone County Beekeeper, he's near there. Charles Vance, he's somewhere near there. So there's definitely stuff up there. It's further from, you know, here, further than my son and all. But he said that today. He said, "Well, that's further away than you are now." And I said, "Yep." And you don't come see me now, so it don't make no difference, does it? I said, "I got a kid in town that I see once a quarter, whether she likes it or not." So we're just gonna. I just told him. I said, "Look," I said, "you don't understand it yet because you're young, but when you start getting towards the time when it's time to retire, and you know, most people as they get up towards retiring, hopefully they've prepared and been able to, you know, get their house paid for and whatever. I did not do that in my life, so now I'm scrambling to try to make things, you know, happen. So if it does, it does. If it Go
They
ahead,
keep
Tim.
fooling with the retirement age. We'll be 95 years old come retirement.
Yeah.
Well, that's the other thing. It they moved my retirement age is 70. Now, not a male in my debt. Well, I guess my brother broke the chain, but 58 was like it for my dad's side of the family. So I'm trying to if I can get a place where I don't have a monthly mortgage and, you know, cars and trucks and stuff like that don't mean a whole lot to me. Yeah, I like to drive a nice truck. Don't get me wrong, but I'll sell that thing quick as day. If you know what I mean, if it means the difference between having a house and an old car, or a new truck and not having a place, I'm getting rid of the newer truck and getting me a beater. You know, doesn't matter that much to me.
I only pay $550 a month for half an acre of land, a double wide that I live on, and so it's not bad the payment I've got, but you know it's within reach.
Right. I mean, when I start looking at, I'm 53, right? Getting ready to be 54 in June. If I've got to finance this place that I'm in, I'm 83 years old. I can't make payments till I'm 83 years old. And if I die, then I'm leaving that on my wife or my kids, and I'm not trying to do that either. So we'll see. Hopefully, y'all pray for it. Maybe it'll happen. Maybe it won't. And my wife's yelling while I'm on a live, if you didn't hear her over there.
Yeah.
Hold up. I can't. Can I mute me?
Yeah, I mean that's what I'm worried about. I'm 58, and you know I had to go pretty close to 70 to be able to retire myself, and to get the full pension, you know, the full giddy up. That's why I'm doing the bees, trying to make a little bit of money.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that's the other thing, right? So we had this conversation the other night about profitability and beekeeping. So when you can make a decision, this is my opinion, y'all. So don't, everybody's got one. Until you can make a decision on what the maximum amount of beehives that you want, and then you get that equipment taken care of and paid for, right? Then you can really start profiting, because most everybody I talk to, they're either building or buying boxes. Either one has a cost associated, right? I mean, even if it's gas to go get free wood, it's a cost. And then most people don't build frames, so you're still buying those, right? So every time you expand or build a box or whatever, you're paying 10 frames is $40, right? At least $40. So every box you add just starts adding money up. And as long as you continue to do that and add numbers of colonies, then you continue to have some sort of payment, for boxes or equipment or whatever, until you get to the point to, like Charlie said, I'm just going to run this many colonies and I'm going to keep at this many colonies, and that's it, right? So that's kind of what I've been trying to put myself in check to stay at that level, right? To stay at a certain number of colonies. And will it work? Hell, I don't know. I'm oh, that's shiny. Let me get that. Yeah, it was close to 80 here today. And those 2 swarms that I caught in the nukes that I did the video on? I went back out to put feed on them today, and I think that was the 2 smaller swarms that were in the trees. One of them. The other one, the one that I caught this afternoon, I think was that one of them out of that nuke box. So I just put them in another nuke box. And we'll see if we can keep them in this time. I'm going to leave them in the box longer before I open them up this time. Put some feed on them. So just put these in the neighborhood.
Talking a second ago of, me and Hannah was having this discussion the other morning, and I don't even know how we really got on it, but she was like, where do we get to the point of where we can do this as a living? But doing it as a living, you got to get there to a point.
You got to get, how do we get to a certain point that we can do the bees for a living while we're still working construction full time?
Because whenever we come home, that's it.
That's the $1 million question, right?
Yeah, but it's not like
I mean,
or work now.
I look at it
No.
like I try to figure out what my minimum amount that I have to have for car insurance and all that type of stuff, and then figure out how you're going to get to that point, right? If it's nukes or if it's honey or a combination or queens, it's possible to do. It's just a matter of living. I think it's living frugally. And I think we all have a tendency to, tax return checks in. I could really use that new dishwasher. And then we go get or something, you know what I mean? It's not always that, but it's Social Security. I'm not sure what it is now, but I'm pretty sure it's not more than about a couple grand a month, right? Or $1,200-$1,300 a month. It's like nothing. So my thought was that if I have to pay a mortgage payment or a land payment, whatever that looks like, when I looked at financing this place, my monthly payment was going to be about $1,100 a month, which means I would have zero income, right? So, so that's kind of. Mark says he can't get in. What's the deal?
He's on our side.
Yeah, go to Ed's channel.
So that's the thing that I've been really trying to figure out, right? First of all, if I get this place, then it's like, well, what are you going to do for work, right? Got to have something. So, but
You can't transfer your job or Dobbs up that way.
maybe. I think they've got one up there near Charleston, Charleston, West Virginia. So, so we'll see what happens. But I've got a lot of skills as far as working in a lab and stuff like that, and it's just whether or not there's any jobs available for that up there, right? That type of job. So we'll see what's going on with it. But it's one of those things that it's like nothing is set in stone around here, other than Monday I go to work. You know what I mean? And then we Zoom through the day and live streams and stuff like that. But as far as like living here, my sisters haven't said anything about the place. They haven't asked about the place or anything. And that's buying me time right now, and time I need to be trying to figure out what I'm going to do. So even if let's say I buy the place and get it paid for and everything, and I don't move up there, there's nothing wrong with that either, right? I just have a piece of land out somewhere else. And
Well, 10 years, double your money, especially the way everything's going nowadays on daggum land prices.
So, I mean, I don't know. I've never bought a house, ever. Never bought a house. I've always rented because when I was in the military, I was young and didn't think I needed a house because I was moving so much. Then when I got out and started working in the pharmaceuticals and everything, when I first got out of the military, I wouldn't make enough money to afford a house. And then when my credit's good, then it's like the interest rates are out of whack like they are now. So it's just one of those things. There's also another option. If I do end up getting it, there's always the option of then mortgaging the house after you get it, right? And pulling some equity back out. So there's options. It's just a matter of if they ever happen, So we'll see. Keep our ears.
We've been blessed on the end that we took out a loan, but it was an interest-free loan.
And we worked our butts off and paid it off.
Yes,
Mhm.
that's what we had to do. It was sweat equity in a way. Well, pretty much all it was is, hey, look, we can help y'all, but this is what we want. So we agreed to the
Come
deal,
smart.
and bam, we was able to get the
Tomorrow,
we was able to get our little old trailer. We was able to get it on a little old, just a little more than an acre of land here. But it took me and her probably a good 3 or 4 years to get that loan paid off. And the
Right.
fact of the people that lent us the money, they said, I want this done to my house. I want a carport built to my house. I want, all these other things done. And you just give me a labor and I'll just knock it off of the loan that we had given to you. But in a lot of ways, we're self-employed. So there's times that we'll go, you might go 2 or 3 weeks and not pull a job,
Right.
then work a little bit, but then you got to catch up on what you're behind on. So it's a blessing and a curse in some ways of having everything paid off. A huge blessing having it paid off, but
I was like, where does the first come
Well-
in with having it paid off?
the curse is being like on our end of work,
Yeah.
where we're not
You
guaranteed a
never know where
job
the
every
job
week.
money's coming from tomorrow, right?
Yeah, if we don't get out and hustle, you know, nobody's coming knocking on the door. We got to get out there and work and pray that somebody passes our name on to somebody else, and often that's what happens. But it can still be tough with having zero balance, if you will.
Oh, Mark's showing off his bee yard.
Yeah. Well, I got some bad news. So I got some good news and some bad news. So
Go with the
go with the bad first.
Get
Go
the
with
tear
the
the band-aid off.
Well, won't be no more Corey AI Queens because she gone.
Uh-oh.
But I did get 80 grafts before that happened. So, and that's the last of that. So
Are you
I
thinking
don't
about
know.
buying another one or no?
Not right now.
Well, I mean,
There's the builder right there. Can you see him?
yeah, it looks good.
They're all over the place. Man, that's a lot of bees.
I had one like that in my trees.
Yeah, I did too. Ow, one got me. Get out of here.
You wear the least protection of anybody I know.
Well, they're getting ready for bed now. Now ain't a good time to get into them, is it?
Big black headset on your head too.
Yeah. Yeah, I had a call today for a swarm up at work. They were at the steps going in the plant, so I had to go get them. And come home, I had one in the tree. So I caught 2 today. I'm looking around to see if I see any more. I ain't been able to stay on top of them. It's just been one of them years.
All right, maybe you know this answer to this question, one of y'all. So last 2 days in a row, I've had a hive swarm out. I've seen them; they're all in the air like a swarm, and then go right back in the box. Have you ever seen that before?
Yeah.
Is that a practice swarm, or is it a maiden flight, or what is it?
Don't ask me. I don't know.
Are they on crack?
On
Yeah.
crack. You're in South Carolina. They on crack.
crack baby bees. That's what
Yeah.
I name my honey, the Crack Baby Bee Company.
Here's a few splits. Let me see them. Oh, one up.
We sell 9 pounds of honey today.
I ain't used to a camera, man.
Well, if you had a tripod, we wouldn't have these problems.
I got a tripod. That's the problem.
It's Bob all the way around.
That's
I
what.
don't know how to operate.
Got it.
I call myself, when I go without a tripod, I call myself Bob Potting.
Bob Pod. The Bob Camp.
There's a few bees in there. That's just little splits. That ain't a split.
Yeah, I got a split out in the yard that I did. They're usually, when you go into them, when they're like that, they're pretty docile. I got hit twice this morning when I went to pop it open and take a look, see where they were at. Yeah, two of them came out and nailed me, and I'm like, "You guys you're too big, not big enough to do that." David says about them swarming out, Bob. He says it sounds like the queen can't fly. She may not be. She may not have run her around enough to cause her to be able to fly. It could be a possibility, or they haven't convinced her yet. They said we lost Mark.
It's froze up.
Yeah.
I meant to try to split that colony, but unfortunately, I was mowing dirt all day and burning and blowing chopped up leaves off my dirt, and then I used my riding lawnmower. I dropped the blade down all the way to the lowest setting and turned the blades off and used the front of the shield, right, that's around the blades to scrape that sand on the driveway by the apiary. I was just smoothing it out and pushing it back up the hill so it can wash back down next time it rains. So just smoothing it out a bit. That's my computer. Sorry, guys, if you're hearing that ding.
Yeah, I don't know what happened. We lost Mark. I'll bring him down
Maybe
here
he'll
for
be
right
back
now.
soon.
I haven't. He's still on there, so he's connected to some sort. But
That's me.
you got the house. Like the old AOL, you got mail.
This is something which I see you comment there, Mr. Mike Conley, about the false swarm and the queen didn't follow. But this is something I've thought about doing. Need to talk to some, maybe Mark Miller, maybe you've done this before, Captain. Have you done any clipping of the wings to prevent that queen from going 40 feet up in the air whenever she comes out to swarm?
No, I've never clipped any wings, but I've had, the AI queens that were clipped, but I've never done it.
Yeah, they have a question here. Honeybee Compound asked Mark, was it something you did that killed the queen, or she just died or flew the coop, or what?
She was 3-year-old and she was on her last leg, and I got some grafts off of her, but I knew it was coming to the end, and I went down there the other day and there was a virgin there, and she's gone. I don't know where she is. Either they balled her or she crawled out and died or something. I don't know. One of them things. They don't live forever.
No, I don't.
Yes, we was out looking in one of ours the other week, and we still ain't put the video out, but kind of give a spoiler on it. When we got through, oh yeah, just give it away. We went through the box, couldn't find Valentine. We was looking for her everywhere. Don't know if we missed her or what. Well, as soon as we got done with everything and we was picking stuff up, walking back up to the house, I just happened to look down on the ground. And lo and behold, there was a virgin queen on the ground. But
Yeah.
she was doing that stutter round and round in circles on the ground. I don't know if I maybe just caught her with the very edge of my boot, not enough to completely smush her. She had just a small indentation on her abdomen. I'm talking about, not even big as a BB, but it was enough that you could tell she was obviously injured. And we was like, come on, don't tell us that was our new queen to be in here, if our main queen had sworn. But thankfully, Hannah left a couple extra cells in there because I thought we done pulled all the cells out for the splits. And Hannah was like, no, I left 2 cells in there. So we'll see how it goes.
That one wasn't me.
Wasn't me.
My phone's chirping.
So the call that I just got was about my nukes. So tomorrow on Easter Sunday, I'm driving to Charlotte and picking up my nukes and apparently a tote of syrup and 50 migratory covers. So going to be a busy Easter Sunday.
I don't plan on doing anything tomorrow.
I was trying to get everything. I try to get all my chores knocked out on Saturday. So Sunday I can do what I want to, when I want to, if I want to. All that stuff.
If I want to. Yeah. That's the biggest problem.
I got
out there tilling the garden and I ran out of fuel, so I just quit. I got about 3/4 of it done. I'll figure out do it later. Trying to get ready to plant some sweet corn.
I heard that. Yes, sir.
A Japanese Easter service. I've never heard of one of them. That's what Sarah was talking about.
I got a helper that I'm gonna bring in here one of these days. He's got about 30 hives, I think. He lives about 5 miles from here. He's been getting into the VSH a little alone. And we're trying to pack his yard full of VSH drones. I've got mine packed full. So I've made my goal what I wanted to do. So now it's just a matter of getting queens bred and getting it all laid out the way I want it. Plan on bringing him in here for long. We're going to go over to his yard work next week. And then I got to go to Corey's Monday and do some swaps. I got busy 2 weeks. I'm on vacation. 2 weeks.
Yeah, try to catch up on everything. There's 2 weeks.
Yeah. Try to get my corn planted. Get all the bees ready for the honey flow. Work on his yard, get his yard ready. I got about 20 more splits I got to make. I don't know. I got a bunch of stuff to do. I don't even want to think about it right now.
Saying not enough time.
Never is. Even though you're off work, time just flies.
Yeah, David, this is something I've been looking at myself right here with what David's saying about the eclipse affecting what's that due to how do you put that? Where'd it go? Expect delays on April 8th due to the eclipse. It's not gonna be that long of a delay. I've been through an eclipse before, or a solar eclipse in South Carolina. Last one in it's interesting. Everything shuts down, and the night creatures start reacting during that time. And as soon as the light comes back, everything's back to normal. So I don't think it's be that much of a delay. You know, all the drones would be back, all the foragers would be back in the hive, and then as soon as the light comes out, they're back out again for the rest of the
Yeah,
day.
that'd be pretty cool to capture that on film. And all them flooding in and then leaving again.
It would be interesting. I didn't even think about that.
Yeah. How long
There you
does
go,
the
Mark.
eclipse last?
Usually
yeah.
a few hours or so.
A few hours, yeah.
Yeah. But how long is it dark? Not long, is it?
No, I'm not. It shouldn't be
No.
that long.
I remember the last one was like I think maybe 5 minutes. I mean, from start to finish. And well, South Carolina was a place with totality when you could see the full eclipse. And it's different all the way across the country. Different times, different time zones, area.
Yeah.
Yeah, total darkness is about 4 minutes, is what Danae says.
Right.
And that's what I remember. I remember it being about 4 to 5 minutes.
That's just long enough for them to catch their wind and get back after it.
Yeah.
Refuel.
They'll be like, get back out there, girls. It's daylight again.
I need to get a nap.
Yeah.
I don't know how much we're gonna see in our neck of the woods, Ed. I imagine we'll probably be able to see a little bit of it, but I don't know how.
It depends on
big it's
how
gonna
clear
be.
it is. The video I got originally on that 7 years ago, I remember them redoing research on the eclipse, what you should see, and I actually got the full thing where it started moving in, covered the sun, and then when it went, as soon as it started to go back out, it has little diamonds, like real bright, real for a moment. It's called a diamond, and you can see it on the video where it just a straight line straight through the video, where as soon as it moved out, it made that straight line, the diamond, and then you start seeing it move back out across again. I use a filtered lens to do it. It's really cool.
I remember seeing one when I was a kid in school. That's been many a year ago. They've had some more since then, though. I didn't sit and watch it, though.
The only event I've
Yeah.
ever sat and watched any kind of along those lines of the moon. Well, it wasn't even the moon or anything, but it was whenever the star, they caught the star fell on Alabama, and it's just like a big meteor shower basically that comes every 150 years. Now, I did sit up throughout the evening and watch that, and that was quite the sight to see, especially whenever it was full throttle. I mean, you just see falling stars by the hundreds, and sometimes even 1,000 or so just zipping across the sky. That was pretty neat.
It'd be interesting to do a scientific project to figure out if they know that something like that's coming, or what they would do if they know that's coming.
Right.
In preparation, what changes affects them, during that process and that time. It'd be an interesting subject. On that normal, they probably just shut down as long as it's dark and then it's restart again when it's light. But insects and creatures like that is something else what they're capable of doing.
I mean, I imagine it affects them in some kind of way, whether it's just, like them coming home 30 minutes before it goes to raining, if it may be something along that effect, or
Yeah.
if it just slows them down or something.
how many actually get caught out like they do, and some get caught in the rain, some get caught at night and sleep on a flower to the next morning. You know, I've seen different pictures and stuff about that. Like I said, I've not fully researched it, but I'm just a
Yeah,
citizen.
I had a swarm in a tree one time, and it come a thunderstorm. I mean, it come a flood. I went back out there after that, and they looked like a bunch of drowned rats hanging in that tree. I shook them off in a box. They was fine. They can take it when they're together. Anyway, I don't know about being by themselves.
I reckon as long as it don't get too cool on them,
Yeah,
David's
they
got a
find a
point.
place to hide.
How much does a solar eclipse affect polarized light? It'd be
Well,
interesting to figure that out. Because that's what the bees work on, is polarized and infrared light.
yeah, they work on like radar, don't they? They got hair everywhere on their eyes and everything. So they come up to a bloom, they can tell whether that bloom's got nectar in it before they ever even get to it by radar.
Yeah, I think it's like an electrostatic charge. The plant will put out. I think Tim was talking about the plant. The plant produces a negative. They when they fly, they create a positive charge.
Right.
So when they come near it, they can tell whether it's a negative or positive charge in the plant.
Yeah.
Y'all should watch that
That's what.
video. It was unreal. The way that guy had it set up where you can actually hear the sound the bees hear to tell if there's nectar in it or not.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah. Okay. So what are you doing, Mark, with your breeding program now that is you going to be doing off the daughters only, right, for a while?
No. What I got is a bunch of daughters, right? So it's them drones that I'm looking for. So what I
Okay.
get mated here now will be real high ASH, or should be. I've already seen some of it because I had bees that I didn't really care about last year that were carnies that I just let swarm, and they come back mated, and they're awesome this year. I mean, awesome. So, I've seen a little bit of it already. This year's really going to make a difference. It should. We'll see how I can get mated. In a small yard, it's hard to get a lot mated, you know. Plus, the weather being up and down don't help. Wind blowing 40 mile an hour don't help.
No, not for mating.
Yeah. Just see how it goes for a little while. I just kind of do my own thing here for a while.
Are y'all still touching freezing and stuff, Mark? Or
Are we what, Tim?
are y'all still getting at or below freezing, or y'all kind of start to get into that?
It's supposed to be like 38 or 35, like Wednesday or Thursday of next week. Tuesday night, I think, Wednesday morning. But it's in the 70s. It got up here. It got 80 here today. But some of the nights have been cold. It's been managing in the 40s and 50s, but we're still getting some nights 35, 38. So it's just really been up and down. It'll be warm for 3 or 4 days and then cool for 3 or 4 days, and warm for 3 or 4 days and cool for 3 or 4 days. Just up and down, up and down. I've never seen nothing like it, and it's been that way for months on end.
And Tom saying he says I'm waiting for Mark to move a outside right now. Yeah, in your bee garb, you know. I think is what he's talking about.
I want to see my yard.
No, he wants you to move a nuke. He said.
Oh, uh, I did enjoy my little tractor the other day. I got my fork, my tractor, so I just set my boxes on there, and I made all my splits and go set 4 down, come back, go set 4 down. That was pretty nice.
I read Tom's thing all wrong. He's I'm waiting to move. I thought he said he's waiting for you to move.
Ain't nothing like getting out on that tractor and tinkering around. It don't matter if you drag a limb across the yard.
That's what I've been doing all day, Tim. You should have seen me this morning. I had the old lady driving the tractor, and I got up on her pallet, and I had a pole saw, and I said, "Raise me up." And there I am up there in the sky, and she's driving the tractor. I looked at her. I said, "You remember one thing, safety first." She said, "Yeah, you look real safe up there." I said, "Well, when I was under 40, I didn't mind doing this. Now I'm over 40, and I just don't want to fall."
You don't bounce that well after. You don't bounce that well after 40.
No. I got a bunch of limbs trimmed, and I've been hauling limbs off, tilling the garden, just playing on tractor pretty much all day. I enjoy it.
I love it so much. Tim built me a little seat and mounted it up on the fender of the wheel for me to ride on with him.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm seeing a little bit of nectar flow. I see Shannon put a question in there. A little bit of nectar flow going on. Really not as much as I would have thought by this time. But next week or so, when that privet pops open, it'll be on. So
all of my fruit trees have all bloomed. The cold didn't get them. The willows are blooming here now. Clover's getting ready to pop out. So it can't be long. Can't be. I mean, it's just got to be right around the corner. I'm hoping it'll hurry up because I'm getting tired of splitting bees.
Bad thing is,
I haven't seen. Go ahead.
No, I was about to say, bad thing is I got these nukes coming. I don't have anything set. So now it's tomorrow morning. I got to set up everything for these nukes to come in. So it's going to be an interesting little time here. Setting up for the stands and the bottom boards and getting them ready to go in boxes.
Yeah. It gets to be a job the more you get. I really don't want many more. I just soon stay under 75. I'd rather stay around 50, but seems to be 60 is 65 around in there. I could do everything I want to do and still do pretty good on honey. Right. When it gets like this year, if your bees are healthy, it's hard to keep up. Because, I mean, they're going to blow out, right? And you just got to stay on top of them. And the way I work, it's hard to do. So I lose a lot of swarms. But it's just part of the game. It's when you work all the time, can't help it.
Yes.
Well, that's what they want to do, right? They want to get strong and they want to procreate. So they want to naturally hit the bushes.
Yeah. You run down there and you go through them all and say, okay, this needs splitting, this needs splitting, this needs splitting. Then you run up here and you start grabbing frames and boxes. And by the time you get all that done, you wore out. It's like, I got to get up at 2 o'clock in the morning, make 2 or 3 splits. I'm done. I got to go to bed. You know, it's tough.
Well, my problem is that you start seeing a swarm happen and you run and go get stuff. And the next thing you know, by the time you get back, they're gone.
Yeah, generally, what I find is generally by the time I see a swarm, it's already too late.
Yeah. I've got a couple of swarm boxes hung up here around the yard, and I ain't had a swarm in them yet. but I've had 2 or 3 land out here in the little apple trees and whatnot and caught them. One day I come home, had one, and I thought, well, I'll get it in a minute. Went back down there and it was gone. You know, I don't care if they swarm. That's good. That helps my mating success.
It puts more out in the wild there.
Yeah. Yeah.
But at least your genetics out there.
My bees are better than they have been, you know, as far as brood patterns and gentleness. You still get stung, but they're getting pretty good. I'll have to say, I pat myself on the back for that. But we'll just see how many don't swarm that's going to make honey, right? That's the key. It's kind of somewhere in the middle, right? It's not, you don't want them just all blowing up. It's easy to make them blow up. I can feed Apis Biologic and have them swarming in early March. The hard part is getting them to peak right at the honey flow. So it's somewhere in the middle is what I'm looking for. But that just takes years to get all your colonies like that. It just don't happen overnight, you know. It just takes years to just keep pounding at it.
Well, so I've been adding boxes to give them more room, and they just keep filling the box, right? I mean, they just keep getting bigger, and it's like that one that the mean hive, I took the queen cells out and split it. It hadn't swarmed. But one that I didn't think was going to swarm decided it was time. So it's the one that keeps doing the practice runs.
Yeah.
I think what's funny is Hannah, when they was talking about that one where they went out to go and help their friend, and she says, well, I'm not going to go in that nuke. I'm going to go with that big one because it's a lot bigger. Let's get it over with. And as soon as they go into it, the nuke goes to swarms.
Man, myself in the forehead for that.
Yeah.
I mean, it was before Quick could get ready. That's how fast that mess happened, y'all.
Literally.
Because when we first got there, I had Lance let the weeds go up quite high around the boxes. So you had a bit of a backup with everybody coming in and trying to meander around the grass and such. And so this time, I threw the weed eater in the truck.
Yeah. I was like, way to go, Tim. Let's just see how bad we can tick them off with a weed eater right before we get in them boxes.
Yeah.
It was 10 minutes later, buddy. They
were everywhere.
Yeah, I guess that's all they was looking for. But we got them. We got them.
Yeah.
I tell you, y'all have each other, and that really helps to have moral support. I'll tell you. I found, of course, my mentor died, and we work bees together, and it really helps to have somebody there. Get me this, get me that, whatever. I need this. We need to do this or that. And it makes a big difference working bees. It really does.
Mark, you sounded just like Hannah out there in that yard working them bees. Get me this, get me that.
That's about right. Yeah.
I know nobody's thinking about it right now, but I've got free shipping on the website using Easter 24 if anybody needs anything.
Did you ever do the jacket thing, Bob?
Sir?
Did you ever do the jacket thing?
Yeah. Well, no. Yes and no. I'll tell you. Give me 2 seconds. I'll come right back and tell you.
Well, I was thinking if you did, I wanted a couple, but if you don't worry about it. It ain't like I'm hurting for jackets. I've got 4 or 5.
I see you wear one pretty steadily right there.
Yeah, I do. But I have to when I get in the bees and I'm working them hard, right? I'm just gonna go out there and piddle around. I don't worry about it too much. But I do wear gloves a lot of times because I just don't like to get that propolis all over my hands when I'm working bees.
So I was gonna order the jackets like the one I've been wearing, and when I was in North Carolina, I saw one that seemed nicer. And then, so I was putting the guy off of the ones that I was looking at before I went to North Carolina until I could get with this other guy. Well, he hasn't, I called him and he was like, okay, I'm going to Vegas this week. And after that, I can get with you. Well, he didn't get back with me after he got back. So, my big concern was the veil. So with the veil, it was the one that I saw in North Carolina was much more heavy duty. Like you're not gonna tear that open, right? And then I got looking at the one that I of the fursuit that I was looking at, and it's more heavy duty than the Guardian that I have, but it's not as heavy duty as the other one. So, I mean, I had that veil the other night when I was doing that removal right up on a tin roof, right on the edge, and I was pushing it up there so I could look into the into the hole and moving back and forth, and it didn't snag or cut or anything. So I think it's probably good, but the guy is aggravating. I mean, he blows my messenger up every day. Even when I tell him, hey, dude, quit messaging me. I'm at work. I'll contact you when I want to make an order. Until then, leave me alone. And he still blows it up. So
yeah, that's a good way to lose a sale.
At least for me, because aggravation, you know, I got enough of that in my life without somebody I'm trying to give money to bugging me.
Right.
So, and right now, because I bid on that land, I'm not buying nothing. Nothing. Right. Till we know what's happening with that. I'm sorry, Tim, what?
Can you see Shannon's comment on our page?
Can the tablets stay on during the flow? They can stay on. The bees won't touch them during the flow, probably. But they can stay on. They won't hurt the honey. They just won't use them. But I'm leaving them on mine. That's what I'll say about that. Now the pack there, don't put them in the super zone, which is basically the in the honey boxes. But I keep mine in the brood box, and they nibble on it if they want to, and if they don't, they don't. Perfect for me. I've had Amazon orders I had to pack up there. Market.
Thymol works. There's no doubt about it. It works.
Did you see the American Bee Journal this month?
I have not, but I heard about it. But now it's been all I've used last year. I used Apiguard, and then I did do some OA once it got cold.
I didn't do any OA over the winter. I just used the tablets all winter long.
Yeah. But Thymol, it definitely worked. There's no doubt.
So that Randy Oliver paper basically says that extended release Thymol over a 3-week period has a 98% efficacy, like the first 3 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
And the Appy tablet is an extended release Thymol, only it stays on there longer than 3 weeks. So
yeah, they're not going to consume it in 3 weeks' time.
Right.
It's a long extended Thymol. I would say 3 weeks, not really that much extended, really. You know, that's a brood cycle.
Apiguard, I think you put what you put it on, and then 2 weeks later you put it on again, and then
Yeah.
it's like a month
Yeah.
long.
And it seems to do better in hotter weather because the cooler weather, it just seems to harden up and just sits there. You know, as long as it's a gel in the hotter weather,
Not
it seems to
realize
work
that.
better.
That's not my cat.
Yeah.
Mine usually comes. Oh, and here comes my cat. You must have heard your cat. And there it goes.
I got 5 or 6 of them,
So
but I don't have to worry about mice though.
Well, there you go. We with you on that. We got enough, but you ain't got to worry about no field rats or none of that mess running around.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Only
Mine
thing
actually get out. They'll catch moles sometimes. When moles come up to the top, they'll get them. My goodness.
that's mine. Talk to me. What do you want? Now it's walking. I said something to it, so now it's
We
walking.
have one of
So did you guys?
that old yard cat of ours out there. I would say our yard cat got an old mole not too long ago, and we now know why the chicken crossed the road. Somebody dumped one off, and it stayed across the highway for about 2 weeks. But it would look at me and Hannah every morning when we left out for work, like it wanted to come over here to our chickens. Well, finally it moseyed over here. Well, I don't know if you know anything about chickens, but this joker is about big as a golden buff or a blue duckwing. Just a big old chicken.
Hmm.
We named it Big Feet.
Yeah, his name's Big Feet. But
Did
when them old yard cats, it got on one of them moles. And well, as is out there, knocking it around, Hannah was like, just go out there and kill the mole and take it from him. I can't take all that mess. Y'all, I ain't joking. I ain't no more started coming down the steps and that big old chicken seen what was happening. And buddy, and about 2 gulps, boom, boom, it choked that old mole down. I was like, well, I ain't got to do no work on that end.
did you guys hear me talking about that sticker company, the label company, yesterday?
Yeah, I caught part of it.
The U printing. So you can get 2,000 labels for $121 or something like that.
That's cheap.
Yeah, that's where I buy these labels for the swarm lure.
Right.
But they're the same size that I use on the little jars like this, right? The smaller ones that fit on there. So works good.
And what's the name of that?
uprinting.com. And you can change your dimensions. Obviously, if you change dimensions and stuff, the price is going to change. But the more you order, the cheaper the price is per sticker.
Yeah. So if you could come up with a sticker that fit everything, you'd be sitting pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
But the problem is my sticker says like 1 pound, 2 pound, 3 pound.
Well, just change it and put a line, and you can just write in 2 pounds, 1 pound.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that way
Yeah.
you can print one label, or you can just have a checkbox, right? 1 pound, 2 pound, whatever variety, and then just check it.
Checkbox would be better, wouldn't it? Yeah.
And that way you can use the same label on multiple jars if it fits.
Right.
They're talking about chickens still in the chat.
I've got 1 rooster left.
We don't have a rooster anymore. All we got hens, and we got 2 male peacocks. The female peacock died, so we're looking for a female for them, at least one. And 1 duck. We're down to 1 duck.
My ducks got picked off quick by something out here. I had 5 ducks at one time. 1 of them got hit by a car. I knew that. But the other 4 I guess owl or hawk or coyote or something got him
Yeah.
because I never saw them. They were just disappeared. So imagine they got drug into the woods by something.
Well, y'all, I'm gonna get off here and go eat me a bite of lasagna.
Yeah, I'm getting ready to hop out too. We had
Yeah,
lasagna
I
last
probably
week.
need to try to get ready to shut this down too because
Uh-oh.
Mm. And there you go.
He
said,
hit
"I'm
the
outta here."
wrong button.
Well, I'm out of here. Y'all have a good one.
Take
Yep.
care, Mark.
Mark.
Later.
Well, I wonder if he's coming back in.
Yeah, I imagine it. I hope so. I don't want to do a sign off.
I don't think we can sign it off for him, can we? I can't. You might be able to. I can't.
No, I mean, I have no idea. That's a Lee question or Johnny Walker question on that.
Well, usually, it has that stop live stream on the top. Oh, there he is.
I dropped for
He's
some
back.
reason.
I thought you hit the wrong button.
There you go.
No, it just dropped. Yeah, my wife gave me the evil eye. I need to go over there and cook them steaks for her. So
Yep.
she had some dinner.
Good eating. All right, y'all.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to hop out. And we'll see y'all on the next one.
All right, man. Y'all
All
take
right,
it easy.
guys.
Y'all have a happy Easter.
You
Y'all
too.
as well.
Yeah, and everybody who joined us tonight, I hope you all have a happy Easter as well. So be good, behave, and behive. Until next time, God bless you and your bees.
Bye, y'all.
Take care.